This might be the most famous weather photo in the Chronicle's archives. It shows Richmond County Superior Court Judge Henry Hammond standing waist deep in the middle of Broad Street during Augusta's famous 1908 flood. Have you ever wondered what he was doing? Well, I did. I went back and looked in the archives of the Augusta Chronicle in 1908. In the September 2nd, 1908 edition, we wrote about the flood and the judge this way. Thursday morning after breakfast, His Honor conducted that he would see how things stood at his city residence, McIntosh, across from the Georgia Railroad Bank. This would be today's 7th and Broad. But there is no boat at hand just now, remarked an associate, C.H. Cohen. Well, I won't wait, was the reply, and clothing and all, Judge Hammond took the water, enjoyed a swim on Broad, swam to his residence, and saw how things were. Judge Hammond, the Chronicle concluded, was an expert swimmer. He was also a character, and that was played out in the pages of the Chronicle over the next decade. A lifelong bachelor, Henry Cumming Hammond raised camellias, built kites, and seemed to like the water. He once won a $50 bet that he could swim back and forth across the Savannah River 5 times without resting. Maybe standing in the middle of a flooded downtown street wasn't as difficult. Hammond was the product of 2 famous families. His paternal grandfather was James H. Hammond, a South Carolina governor and U.S. senator, and young Henry spent much of his youth at the Hammond family home, Red Cliff Plantation near Beach Island. On this side of the river, his maternal grandfather was Augusta civic leader Henry Cumming, driving force behind construction of the Augusta Canal. Hammond would begin his law career by studying under his uncle, Joseph Cumming. The young man was a sharp lawyer, an eloquent speaker, and an able lawmaker. So the governor appointed him to a judgeship, our judgeship. He held that post for 18 years before leaving the bench for a private law practice that would eventually include future Governor Carl Sanders as a partner. Many of the old newspaper articles referred to the judge as eccentric. When a man killed Hammond's pet geese, Hammond showed up in court to represent him pro bono. He did the same thing when youngsters stole his car. Of course, his car was always easy to spot because Hammond had a large X painted on its roof. They say this was so he could look down from his office window to the parking lot and remember where he had parked it. Every spring, he ran a notice in the paper inviting the public to come out to his property and inspect his camellias, but he advised they leave children and pets at home. When Hammond died in 1961 at age 92, the Augusta Chronicle praised his originality. It wrote, "Not perhaps in all its history has Augusta known a man quite like the judge." Today we remember him from this old photo that shows the city's ranking jurist in hat and bow tie standing on Broad Street while a river flooded around him. I doubt it bothered him. Few things did.